Adversity strips away all the stuff that we are not. So people say that it reveals who you are. No, it just strips away all the stuff that you're not. And it gets down to who you really are. And that's a rough question. So for me, for 4 months, lying in a bed, having to unpack everything in my life, from my parents' divorce to my own divorce, that was a lot of work. There was a lot of anger there. There was a lot of resistance there. There was a lot of adversity that I was facing. For me, I had to figure out something to counteract all the anger that I had. And for most people, the opposite of anger or the opposite of hate is love. But for me in that bed, I didn't have a lot of support, frankly. So I had to find something else that stemmed from love. And it was gratitude. And I know people talk about it, but I'm not talking about that bullshit gratitude that everybody's pushing. That everybody uses their little cursive, journal to write gratitudes in. Most people that I find that talk about a gratitude practice are grateful for the things that they like. In this life, that's not how it's always going to be. As a matter of fact, if even half of your day is great, the other half is crap. If you're just throwing that away, throwing out the baby with the bathwater, you're missing a huge opportunity. So for me, I found that I had to say, okay, take myself out of the equation. Did anybody benefit from me being hurt? And I was like, no. After a few months, finally, it was like, actually, if I'd have been in Afghanistan, that means that my team would have been compromised, because for every one man that is injured in combat, it takes 2 to pull him to safety. So I would endanger my team, my squad. A squad would have had to cover down. A Chinook helicopter would have had to fly in to come get me, right? That's a pretty big target with an RPG into a hot zone, right? So for me, and we know this when we sign the papers, we get it. However, at that place in my life, realizing that 50 or 60 other people's lives would have been put in harm's way if this had happened over there, that was the cornerstone upon which I could build true gratitude. Because I remember saying to myself, almost like I was outside of my own body, saying, wow, I'm lucky. And when I had that initial stone to build on, I became grateful for the bed that I may never get out of and the room that I may never leave. And a week after I started having that radical, true 360 gratitude, I started getting a little bit of feeling back in my left hand. That was the beginning